Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, we're going to do week 5, picking the winners. And we do have some great games this weekend. Absolutely fantastic games. And I brought in my group of pickers to help me with this. We've been doing this for a while now. And as you know, I never bury the lead. Let's get right into it. All right, folks, got my pickers with me. We've been doing this the last 4 weeks. This will be week 5. We're going to knock down 11 really good games that I think pretty much everybody's talking about. And we're going to start out with, well, actually, let's talk about the record. Andy is still well ahead at 24-12. He went 3-5 last week, though. He did show that he has, he's not completely flawless.
He's human.
Yep, just a little bit. He's been awful hard to deal with until this last week. Then Charlie Bob also went 3-5, and I went 4-4. So none of us exactly killed it. Those guys in Vegas aren't that bad.
No.
So I'm 20-16, Andy's 24-12, and Charlie Bob's 19-17. So everybody's above 500, which is not bad against Vegas. Anyway, let's start out with our first game, which is Florida State at Virginia. It's tonight at 7 o'clock, as you can see, at Virginia. So let's talk about that for a minute. I cannot believe Florida State's only favored by 6.5. I just don't see that. I don't see any way Virginia being able to stop that brutal offense, that Gus Bus. And Virginia's offense, I know, is better, but Florida State has a good defense. So I'm taking Florida State on this one. Let's start with Andy.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you said, that line seems too good to be true. I haven't watched Virginia much this year at all. I know they're better on offense, but defense isn't very good. I think Florida State wins that fairly easily.
Okay. CB?
You got the right one, baby. So I'm going Florida State as well.
I figured.
Make 3 of us.
Okay. Charlie Bob, if y'all don't know, Charlie Bob's a professional singer and impersonator, and he's known as the man with 1,000 voices. And he will blow your mind with how many impersonations he could do. Anyway, let's go on to the next game. That is, and Andy is a keyboard and singer as well up at Dollywood. He sings with the Kingdom Heirs. And then Charlie Bob's got his own show. So anyway, let's move on to the second game. That's USC, who is minus 6.5 at Illinois noon. It's a big noon Saturday. This is a tough one for me. Let's start with you, Charlie Bob, on that. USC versus Illinois. USC's favored by 6.5.
We're talking about USC in California, right?
Yes, sir.
Versus Illinois, who just got killed, right?
Yep.
Golly, I got to go with USC on this one. I'm going to lay the points. Illinois just didn't look like they had anything.
Yeah, Indiana can make teams look a little silly sometimes.
Yeah.
And USC's got a similar offense. Andy, what do you think?
I'm with Charlie Bob. I'm going USC just based off of Illinois' performance last week. They just got drilled.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at how bad they played against Indiana. But at 6.5 points, USC's pretty good. I'm gonna take Illinois on this one. I'm gonna buck the system here because I like their quarterback, and I think Brett Bielema is gonna have them ready to go at noon. So anyway, I'm going to take Illinois on that one. All right, now we got a big one. This is a very interesting game. We got Notre Dame at Arkansas. It's also a noon game.
I believe one fella come from Arkansas. Get it?
And it's minus. Let's get and show this one. Yeah, right here. Notre Dame at Arkansas on ABC noon. This should be a very interesting game. I'm not convinced that Notre Dame is all that. Minus giving up 4.5. I'm taking Arkansas. Andy, what do you think?
This is an interesting matchup, especially Notre Dame going on the road. Notre Dame has to win out in order to have a chance to make the playoffs. Arkansas played pretty poorly last week, losing to Memphis. Made some big mistakes in key moments. I think Notre Dame overall is better, and I think Notre Dame wins this game. So I'll lay the points here.
All right, you're going to take Notre Dame. All right, Charlie Bob?
I agree with Andy. Arkansas just gave up too many points. Their defense, and Notre Dame, they can run the ball. That's one thing they should be able to do, so they probably can control some clock and keep the crowd out of it a little bit, is what I would guess. Arkansas is a tough test, though. Any SEC team is these days. So, but I'm gonna go with Notre Dame.
Okay. All right. All right, folks, we had a couple of technical difficulties. Andy was down at Calhoun's where he was seeing a Tony Basilio show, and we were having trouble with his internet connection. So through the power and magic of editing, we're right back, and you've missed nothing. All right, we're going to talk about Ohio State now, and they'll be playing Washington. It's at Washington at 3:30, and this one is interesting because Ohio State's only favored by 7.5 points. That makes very little sense to me. You would think they'd be favored by at least 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to take Ohio State in this one and give up the 7.5. Let's see. Charlie Bob, what do you think?
I'm going the other way on this one. I'm going to give Washington a shot. Now, granted, Ohio State has not allowed much. Their defense is, I think, is number 1 scoring defense in college football right now.
Got to be.
But I think they're allowing like 5 points a game or something crazy. But I'm going to go with Washington. I think with that 7.5 point, I think it might be a 7-point game. So that half point kind of entices me to go that route.
All right, Andy.
I think the only reason this spread is so close is because Ohio State's traveling across the country and playing at Washington. I think on a neutral field or at home, Ohio State's favored by 2 touchdowns, like you said. So I like Ohio State here. I'll take Ohio State to cover.
All right, then. All right, next ball game up is Auburn at Texas A&M. Auburn is coming off one of the biggest debacles possible by officiating crew I've ever seen in my lifetime. They got totally creaked out of that ball game last week with the fake sneak play that Oklahoma pulled on them. And then they had the pass interference. They had the scoop and score. It was everything that could go wrong. That's why I say Hugh Freeze is Henry Bennett. The man has no luck at all.
What'd you get, Henry? Number 44?
No, 6 7/8.
Oh, Andy, he pulled out the hat size.
But anyway, they're playing Texas A&M. It's at A&M. They're giving up 6.5. A&M's favored by almost a touchdown. Let's start with Charlie Bob. What you think about Auburn?
Got to go on the road again. That's not ever fun, especially with these upper echelon SEC schools and programs. I think, though, that I think Auburn learned a couple of things last week that they can play with anybody. And I think they built some confidence off that. And I also think that Jackson Arnold has figured out that he just needs to throw the ball to Cam Coleman as many times as he possibly can. And so I think that he's going to show a little more trust in that. And the receiver's just going to have to protect him. He's trying not to throw interceptions because obviously last year Peyton Thorne just threw 1 million. And so Jackson Arnold's just paranoid about that. But I think he's going to have to count on his receivers, especially Cam Coleman, because he was just unguardable against Oklahoma. So I'm going with the Tigers. I'm going to take those 6.5 points, even though on the road. And I think they can exploit A&M's defense a little bit.
All right, Andy.
Bad as I hate to, I'm going to go with CB here. I agree. I like the Tigers getting 6.5 points. So they very easily could have won that game last week and probably should have. A&M's a tough place to play, but I think Auburn's defense played a little better. They played a lot better than I expected them to, and Jackson Arnold's getting better throwing the ball, like he said. I like Auburn here. They may not win, but I like them to keep this close.
All right, well, then I'll be the odd man out. I'll take Texas A&M. I like their quarterback. I think playing there is a huge advantage. Auburn has they got to prove to me they have any luck at all. Just any luck. I've watched them for 2.5 seasons, and everything goes against them. So I'm going to go until that happens. I'm going to go with A&M. LSU at Ole Miss at 3:30. All right, Ole Miss is favored by only 1.5. This is a tough one to decide on. Let's start with you, Andy, on this one. LSU at Ole Miss.
This is going to be a fun game. A cool little backstory that came out that Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating a star linebacker for LSU. And
yeah, that's been kind of a big story, isn't it?
Yeah, and he tweeted a picture of them together. He said, "Take the over this weekend." So I think that's pretty funny. And LSU hasn't shown much yet offensively. They really haven't, and they got a good defense. But this is going to be close. I'm going to take Ole Miss at home, just because they're at home. That's it, and a little more offensive firepower.
CB?
I agree. It's only a 1.5 point spread, and I mean that's about as close as they can make it to a toss-up. And I think you just give the nod to the home team. LSU has not shown a lot offensively, and Ole Miss's defense is pretty good. So didn't Ole Miss beat LSU last year? Didn't they
I
go
believe
there?
they did.
And I mean, so there may be a little bit of revenge factor going on with LSU, but I think my gut tells me Ole Miss at home. So that's what I'm going with.
I'm struggling with this one. I am struggling with this one because normally a home game and they're getting points against a good team. I'm just gonna have to go with my gut on that one and just go with the home team because the point spread. LSU, they got a great quarterback as far as throwing, but he never runs, and that is why I think they struggle scoring because they don't have to worry about him taking off.
I heard he's had a rib injury that they haven't really publicized.
And that's certainly possible. All right, now we got a fun one to talk about. This is one we got to talk about. UCLA at Northwestern at 3:30. Nico Iamaleava. All right, they're giving up 6.5. Northwestern is. They're favored. UCLA's defense is pitiful. Their offense isn't much better. Nico is already talking out there about leaving. So I think this is going to be a lost season for UCLA. They've already fired their head coach and their defensive coordinator 3 games in. I'm taking Northwestern in this one. I think that's an easy one for me, unless they somehow get inspired for whoever's going to be their new coach, it's actually a guy that's done it before. So anyway, that's who I'm going with. Charlie Bob?
Yeah, you made the same point I was going to make. I don't even know I wouldn't bet my life that Nico would be enrolled at UCLA by tomorrow. So, I think Northwestern goes in there and wins. I just think UCLA is just demoralized right now. Yeah, I don't think they even know what to do.
At Northwestern.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's at Northwestern. So I think it's going to be tough. They got in Northwestern in Chicago.
Yeah, they're not very good, but UCLA's worse.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
And these are 2 terrible teams. I mean, this is going to look like 2 drunks fighting at a bar. This it's going to be so terrible to watch. It's going to be fun to watch, I think. But I made the mistake of picking UCLA a couple weeks ago, and they got drilled. They just haven't showed me anything whatsoever. So being on the road, I'll take Northwestern here.
Yeah, it's going to be a pillow fight. So we all picked the Northwestern. Normally I wouldn't pick that game, but since Nico's in it and UCLA, I had to. Because it's not a very important game. All right, now here's a game that we'll have a lot to say about this one, Andy. Tennessee at Mississippi State at 4:15. We're going to call this the Cowbell Bowl. There's already been warnings to Mississippi State that if they do what they did to Arizona State with the Cowbells, there's going to be trouble from the SEC office. But I don't think that's going to mean anything to those fans. They're going to ring those cowbells every chance they get. Every time they're not supposed to, they're going to ring it even louder.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Those things it's going to be awful to watch that game. You almost going to have to turn the volume down because the Arizona State game, it was maddening watching it on TV. I don't know how anybody could go down there and watch that game and deal with those cowbells without earphones or earplugs. But Tennessee is favored by only 7.5 because Mississippi State's 4-0. They did beat Arizona State. They do have that huge cowbell advantage. But I'm going to take Tennessee in this one because I think they can't stop our run game, and that will cause them to open up the field, and then we'll burn them deep. They're going to score some points on us, though. This feels like 45-35 or something to me. But I'm taking Tennessee.
I agree with you, John. Just like you said, Tennessee, I believe, is going to be able to run the ball with ease. And Mississippi State, they've given up a lot of yards on defense, especially to Arizona State. Now, defensively is the big question for Tennessee. Can they slow them down? Tennessee's getting a couple guys back on the defensive line this week, Jackson Moy and Tyree West, which will help big time in the run run game. But I think Tennessee's offense is just firing on all cylinders. I don't think they're going to slow them down. High scoring game. I think Tennessee can get to 40. I can see 42-27 type game. So I'm going to take Tennessee right here to cover.
All right, CB.
Yeah, I think the over is the play here. I just think I don't know. I kind of get a feeling this is a test on the road. It's one of those games that Tennessee could easily look past just because it's Mississippi State. But I think Mississippi State's a little better than they traditionally are, and it's in Starkville, and those dreaded cowbells. My God, they're so annoying. And I think they almost know that they're probably going to get banned at some point, so they're just going to use them as long as they can and as much as they can. And so I think they just wear that out. But I'm gonna take, since it's 7.5. I think it might be a 7-point game, so I'll take those points and the Bulldogs and with the Cowbells.
Yeah, it could be a 7-point game. All right, let's move on here to our next game, which is this is the big one. Big. Oregon at Penn State. We got number 3 versus number 6. This again, it's at Penn State, so they'll probably do the whiteout, I would think.
Yeah, it's a whiteout game.
Gosh, Oregon is so good at scoring, man. They are dangerous. Oh, man. Penn State, though, is tough there. Now, Penn State's favored by 3.5. Man, I hate to bet against Penn State at home, but I'm going to because I think Oregon can score.
Giggity.
This is a tough one. I'm going to take Oregon on this one. Charlie Bob?
I've gone back and forth on this game. 1 minute I think Oregon's speed might come into play, and then the next minute I think, well, environment, Penn State, they've got some good athletes up there as well. And but the thing that I fall back on is Franklin is just not. He has not shown the ability to win big games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Oregon going in there and getting a win, and I'll take those 3.5.
All right, Andy.
I agree with both of you. I think Oregon's going to be too much offensively. I don't think Penn State will be able to keep up. I don't think they'll be able to slow Oregon down. Going to be tough on the road. That's my dog in the background. Apologize for that. But I like Oregon in this game.
All right, now we've got another monster game. Alabama at Georgia, 7:30 on ABC. All right, this is a monster game. We don't know what Alabama has this year. They got pushed around and whooped by FSU, which shocked the world. Thomas Castellanos called the game. It was unbelievable. Georgia didn't look great against Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee is probably going to make some other teams not look so good. Georgia's favored by 3.5. This is a very intriguing game. Man, I am going to take Georgia because it's at Georgia. So I'm going with them. Charlie Bob?
I'm going the other way on this. I agree that we don't really know what Alabama's got right now, but I think Tennessee kind of beat Georgia. They just didn't show up in the score. And I watched the game. They had take away a couple of plays, and it's going the other way on that game. And I wasn't that impressed with Georgia during that game. And although Alabama has done nothing to impress anybody thus far, but they have looked better since that FSU game. And I think that might be the best thing that ever happened to them, is that early loss and that embarrassment. So I think it might have galvanized a lot of those athletes, and they do have some athletes. So I'm going to go with Alabama just because they have had Georgia's number.
Okay. All right, Andy?
Alabama has had Georgia's number, especially Kirby Smart. But I think the only reason this line is so close is because of the name on the jersey. I think Georgia wins this game easily. Because the last time when Alabama played somebody with a pulse, Wisconsin's not good at all. They're terrible. Yeah. Florida State just beat them up on both lines of scrimmage, and I don't see how they can stop Georgia's pass rush. Georgia's secondary, Tennessee kind of exploited them a little bit. Alabama may be able to throw the ball around, but Georgia hasn't lost a game at home since 2019, and I don't think that's going to start tomorrow. So I'm going to take Georgia.
Yeah, being at home, that's what kind of convinced me. All right, let's pull up one more that we need to talk about. This is kind of an interesting game. Kentucky at South Carolina. Both those teams intrigue me. South Carolina's been killing me on this. I almost didn't include them in this because I've lost both times on them, whether I was betting that they win or lose. And then Clemson, the entire state of South Carolina has hurt my record awful. So I probably shouldn't have put this in here. It's at South Carolina. They're favored by 5.5 over Kentucky. Kentucky has no offense at all, none. Oh, I'm making a huge mistake here, but I'm going to go with South Carolina at home to show that they still exist after Vanderbilt just embarrassed them. And then, of course, we knew they were probably going to lose to Missouri, but I saw when the game started, I was like, I gave up 10.5 points, and Missouri's not 10.5 points better, and they didn't wind up being 10.5 better. But anyway, I'm going with South Carolina. Charlie Bob, what do you think?
I'm the same. I just don't think Kentucky's very good at all. And South Carolina, they have a little bit of life if Sellers, and I think with Kentucky's defense, he may have a great game. He may score 4 or 5 touchdowns running the ball. But so I'm going to go with that's under a touchdown favorite, and at home. So yeah, I'll take that deal. I'll take South Carolina.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, I feel like this is the easiest game of the week to pick. I think Kentucky's just has nothing. They're terrible, and Sellers is back, and they're at home. I think South Carolina wins easy.
Yeah, it would appear that's the case. Kentucky can't get any players because all the money has to go to basketball because it's a basketball school. Everybody knows it.
This is a basketball school. It's always been there. Alabama is a football school. So is Georgia.
But don't demean or distract from the hard work and the dedication and the commitment that people have done to get to this point.
It's really not Mark Stoops' fault, but they're probably going to get beat. They might get beat badly. If Sellers runs, if he actually runs, they will. If he doesn't and he just throws, they'll stay in the ball game. It's hard to say. He had that concussion 2 weeks ago, and that's what I think he was so careful against Missouri. But anyway, that's looks like we all three went that way. All right, that's our 11 games right there. We've got all the picks done.
All right, folks, that's our week 5. We'll see how we do after tomorrow. A lot of great ball games. I'm looking forward to it. I know you are too. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know. Continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, and boom. Hit that button right there. Won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video, YouTube. Thanks, you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.